you still have the need to sort of quash other people because you're never satiated. And this is how they live their physical lives, right? To the detriment of many. Okay. So with this Nine of Cups, you get the 4 card, the Emperor. And the Emperor is, of course, wise, and of course, benevolent, and of course, passionate, loving, passionate about the things that are loving and caring. You can see he holds this wand, this scepter that looks like an anchor, because he is anchored in sort of love and happiness, passionate, caring, joy. He wears the armor because he is both protected and protector, right? And you can see this sort of fiery Aries energy in the ram's head, and I am an Aries, so this does have personal meaning to me, just in that sort of power and understanding of passionate. I mean, Aries is a god of war, but also talks about in astrology that sort of Mars passionate, fiery energy. In this instance, and always sort of in this kind of tarot, it's more about passion, right, and strength. Now, in the past little while, when I get this card, I mean, it used to be I'd just read it traditionally, but I had one reading where it really took a turn, and this was maybe 4 years ago, and I suddenly had this impression that this card represented something else or something more, because it really felt to me like universal, all that is God-like energy. So this card for me sometimes, perhaps often, because I don't get this card in reading very, very much, but it talks about this God-like energy. It talks about God. If you want to think of the all that is, if that's the way you want to label, the universe or the all that is, if it's easier, if it's better, if it makes more sense to you to label it as God, this card represents God. And it's talking about universal connection, the desire for the universe, for us to fulfill our souls, to fulfill our goals, to reach our happiness in our soul life, sort of our eternal existence, but also in each lifetime that we live, because it brings us closer to that eternal experience of joy and happiness and love, which is, again, the basis of the universe. So it's bringing us closer to itself, closer to God. God desires for, and religions say this, religious dogma says this, but it's so much more all-encompassing when you think of it in terms of sort of, I guess you would say, metaphysics, right, instead of various religion doctrine, because this idea of sort of coming home or being one with God, there is this there's a truth to that, but the truth also of God is that we are allowed limitless self-expression, and that is celebrated by God. And in some ways, that's what connects us most fully and most urgently to the universe, to the all that is, to God, if you will. And to each other, right? Because we experience individuality even as we are connected to each other and to the universe, which is sort of the greatest expression of God and the greatest, I'm looking for the right word, but it's the greatest joy of God, but the greatest gift of God, I guess, is a great word to use. There's no denying this. There's no denying our connection to God, the God source, and to each other. Now, plenty of people do, right? They try to deny this, but it is a truth of the universe. It is love is the truth of the universe, right? But this is part and parcel to love, because if the universe is love and we are all a part of that and we are all connected, then that is our greatest truth as well. So many people try to deny this, like, they won't say that this is the greatest truth, or they're very concerned with being an individual, right? And that somehow being united and part of each other and of God robs them of their individuality, which is so far from the truth. It's the furthest thing from the truth, because this gift of individuality it perpetuates the universe and perpetuates love when we are moving in that direction, right? And again, it always seeks to balance in love. So we learn, right? And we grow and we experience greater joy, the greatest joy, when we are moving toward this sign of Nine of Cups energy that is an expression of the things that we love and what we want to do and how we want to grow, that benefits and adds to the love growth of the universe and helps balance the universe in love. This card comes at the end of the row because it's talking about that. It's talking about how self-determination, self-expression, that is moving toward love and not fear, brings us not only victory and personal happiness, but also and personal expression always. And sometimes that's very often that's personal compensation, I guess I would say, for the things that we care about. And it can be financial compensation, it can be sort of this spiritual compensation, it can be this, and by compensation I mean sort of reciprocity, this exchange of beautiful energy that can be financial, personal, spiritual, physical, in other ways, okay? So it brings that. So this victory that is self-expression, right? And moving toward what we love and want and cherish in life. It brings us this happiness in so many different forms and adds to the beautiful, loving growth of the universe that is celebrated by the universe and all components. Us, the other souls in the universe, our guides, master guides, the sort of realm that is above master guides, which I don't have a label for right now, and the universe itself. It's so important, right? This self-expression is so important. And people can use it to move toward fear or to move toward love. But you must know that things always balance in love.